Hello and welcome. So we have given that the area of an equilateral triangle is 81 centimeters squared. Find its perimeter. All right, so a couple of things. We have something talking about area, something talking about perimeter. Reminder in terms of geometry. Perimeter is the outside edge. So let's say whatever this side is, right? Whatever that side is, whatever this side is, right? Whatever that side is. The perimeter of any object, any shape, is all of those outside edges added together. So for this particular one I drew, this first side, the second, the third, the fourth, right? That is the perimeter. Now the area is the stuff inside, right? That is the other piece that it's talking about here. So we have perimeter, we have area. All right. Now we don't have a quadrilateral or four-sided shape to work with. We have a triangle, three-sided shape. Now specifically, this is a equilateral triangle. So that kind of gives us a way to look for what formula we need to use and how we're going to relate stuff together. So for triangles, we have a couple of formulas. The general area formula for any triangle is 1/2 times the base of that triangle times the height of that triangle. That is the area of any triangle ever. Now, an equilateral triangle gets its name because all three sides of that triangle are equivalent, right? So whatever the side of that triangle is, that's the exact same measurement for all three sides. Kind of like how a square has all equal sides, equilateral triangle, all three sides are also the same. Now, the height of this thing is right there. We don't know what the height of our equilateral triangle is. We only know that the area, right, the area of this thing equals 81. Well, that's a problem, right? Because if I try solving for this, I do not know what the side length is, nor do I know what the height is. That's two unknowns, right? So while the area formula is nice, I'm gonna move that off to the side a little bit, and we're gonna actually make our life a little easier by saying, hey, the area of an equilateral triangle, and this is an actual formula, is going to be the square root of 3 divided by 4 times whatever the side of that equilateral triangle has squared. Right, that is the area of an equilateral triangle specifically. So since we don't know two of these, I would honestly kind of just default to using this one, right? Because then we know that the area is 81, right? We can directly plug that in. 81 equals the square root of 3 over 4 times side squared. Right? Because this is only one variable for us to solve for, way easier. So let's do that. Right? So I'm going to first get my side alone. So I'm going to multiply 4, undo that division with multiplication. So on the right side, those cancel. And we have 4 times 81, which I believe is 244. Let me double check. Oh, so far off. Good thing I double checked that. That's 324. Hello. Oh, because that's 32, obviously. All right, it's fine. A little early when I'm recording this. So 324 equals the square root of 3 times side squared. Again, undo multiplication. Now we're going to divide root 3. All right, so those cancel, and we're left with the side of our equilateral triangle squared equals 324 over the square root of 3. Now, this is where it's going to look a little suspicious, is that now we undo squares with square roots. Now remember, technically there's a plus minus that appears, but we're talking geometry here in actual side length. Lengths cannot be negative, so while we normally worry about plus minus, we're only going to do the plus, because the minus would give us a nonsensical length. All right, so S, side length of my equilateral, will equal the square root 324 over square root 3. It's kind of gross that we have a square root and a square root, but that's just going to have to be what that is. So now, of my equilateral triangle, I know that one of my three sides is that double square root number. So that means if I want to know the perimeter, that's one side plus 2 more. So that's a total of 3 sides. So in order to find the perimeter of my equilateral triangle, all I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 of that 324 over root 3 number. That's all we have to do to find our perimeter, right? There are 3 sides of that thing, and I'm just going to add all 3 by just multiplying it, right? So all I'm going to do is put this in my calculator now. Our goal is to round to the 3rd decimal place. All right, so I'm going to go back, clear what I got in there. So we're doing 3 times, and then fraction. We have square roots of the whole fraction. Let me redo that. 324 divided by the square root of 3. And voila, there we go. So 41.031, because that 4th digit, the 1 will round down. So 41.031 is the perimeter of the equilateral triangle. And that's as crazy as it gets, right? If it wasn't an equilateral triangle, I would default to the regular area of a triangle formula, right? Because we need that, we could use a little more specific formula. So just keep that in mind. Just keep an eye on what formula is something you're allowed to use given what shape you have. But that's how you do it. Thanks for watching.